Right folks, you can see here is my Land Rover Series 3 109 that unfortunately has taken a bit of a dink to the rear side off corner. You can see what's happened here. The damage is limited to this one corner. The rear cross member is kinked in just that bit, so it's straight as far as I can tell all the way down, and it's not affected the chassis, but it has just pushed that corner, which in turn has caused this kink in the rear wing skin, and managed to cause the spot welds to go up to there. It's not damaged any further than the extent I'm showing you here, but you can see it's across there, and it's fairly pronounced kink, and also there's areas that have been basically pushed in there and there, and a little bit on the rear door skin, which was always somewhat relieved, but slightly worse than it was previously. As we walk around here, I've already managed to take the rear capping off there and this side. While we're about it, you can also see that where the rear cross member was previously replaced, so we didn't quite get it right, unfortunately, and they've had to dent the panel in, and they over drilled the rivet there. So it would be nice to get that whole rear end straight. I can take you in to the rear inside of the rear door. You'll see that it's actually quite solid for a far rear door for a series of this age, but has got slight sort of kink in it from the impact. That'll be nice to get it sorted. What you can also see is the old cappings that I've removed. This is the near side one, and as I mentioned to somebody, when they were replacing the rear cross member, hammered this in, so it'd be really nice to get that flat and straight. And again, well, here's the offside that was involved in the impact, and you can see how that's bent. If we could get this straight, it'd be nice to maintain the pattern of sort of rust marks and whatever, but keep those. That's the new rear cross member. It's galvanized and powder coated for good measure. So yes, that's the general idea. What I would ideally like, obviously I think this whole rear section will need painting, but the idea would be to preserve as much as the original metal, and make it sort of factory finish, so without being too pedantic, these spot rivet marks and all the rest of it would remain, and perhaps straighten it out, and ideally not rip the whole thing apart, but I don't know if that section can just be replaced. I know that the panels do exist, but again, it's just maintaining. It's a very original, albeit not perfect, a used series, but it would be nice to keep it as such and keep as much of the original material and construction methods as possible. Well, that's just about it. So cheers.